Yes, Kwab. Yes! Yes! The time has come. New York Knicks, Indiana Pacers preview. Listen, we don't typically do this, but subscribe.
Subscribe.
We never asked you to subscribe.
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 Leave some comments.
Yeah.
Josh reads the comments. He replies.
Yeah.
He refuses to give me the password because he knows I'm unhinged. So, like, fine. But Josh, we see the comments. We take it in pause.
Wow.
So pause. We look at your comments. Sometimes we reply to the show. So please subscribe and leave some comments.
All right, Kwab, let's do this as we do our series previews. We're going to do it the same way we've always done it. Talk about the Knicks, talk about the Pacers, X-Factors, and our predictions.
Yeah.
I have fought all week with this.
You have.
Week.
You have. You definitely have.
I think I texted Kwab like 10 different times. I'm going to take the Pacers. No, I'm going to take the Knicks. No, I'm going to take the Pacers. I'm going to take the Knicks.
Which is it's hilarious. People will see you with the Knicks hat and think you're not. You haven't been like struggling with this pick, and you have. You definitely have.
Well, we're going to talk about it for sure.
Yep.
But let's get started, Kwab. Let's get started. I'm going to ask you first.
Okay.
The Pacers are the underdogs, and we start with the underdogs. So, the Pacers. By the way, Pacer fans, before you go down my throat about they're technically the underdogs in Vegas. All right, the Knicks are minus 180 favorites.
We're going by Vegas odds, please.
Yeah. Okay. Finish the sentence. The Pacers win this series if blank.
Pacers win this series if they are able to play their brand of basketball in terms of pushing the tempo, getting stops, and also starting the games the right way. I think something that kind of plagued them a little bit the last series, even though they were able to beat the Cavs, was that the games they lost, they just kind of started off slow, and allowing the other team to kind of take Tyrese Haliburton out the game for long stretches. And you made a point whenever we did Pacers recaps about how they were comfortable with Tyrese just kind of being off the ball, and then letting Nembhard just initiate the offense and play through that. I think you're their best when Tyrese has the ball in his hands. You're pushing tempo, and you get secondary like playmaking from Nembhard and everybody else. But with Tyrese in the ball in his hand, then if they're pushing the tempo, getting stops, running the floor, they can win the series.
Yeah, I'm going to finish that sentence. The Pacers win this series if they absolutely exhaust the New York Knicks starting five by pressing them all game, which I know they plan to do, but you can only really do that if you're making your shots. So it's a kind of like a two-edged sword thing where it's like the Pacers are making their shots. They can press full court. The Knicks don't really have many ball handlers outside of Jalen Brunson, right? Mikal Bridges can bring the ball up. Josh Hart can. Even that, though, like one thing that the Knicks have struggled with throughout the whole postseason, and honestly this team in general, is like getting the offense started in the half court. There's a lot of times where they struggle to get the ball up court, then they try to force the ball to Jalen Brunson's hands at the top of the key or by midcourt, and by the time all that happens, just like 9 seconds left on the shot clock, and then all of a sudden it's like, let's just go try to make something happen. And if they struggled with that against the Pacers, I mean, the Pistons, who are a good defensive team, don't get me wrong, and the Celtics, who are also a good defensive team, they're really going to struggle against the Pacers, who have defenders like Nesmith and Nembhard, who can just pressure the basketball ad nauseum. T.J. McConnell when he comes in. Like, they're just, like, y'all are so annoying, and I mean that in the best way possible. I really do. It's a compliment where it's just, like, just relentless. The Pacers are so freaking relentless. You know, that they are just not going to stop pressing. They're not. And I feel like how the Knicks handle that pressure is going to determine a lot in this series, right? Are they going to be able to get out and run in transition, right, off of misses? Are they going to get easy baskets against the Pacers defense? And then when the Pacers score the basketball, how quickly can you get the ball into Jalen Brunson's hands or someone else's hands and initiate offense? That's the problem I see the Knicks having against this Pacers team, and that's why I'm so worried about this series. It's not necessarily on the other side of the ball, which we can get to as well, but it's that part of the game where it's just like, man, like, I know the Celtics are good defensively. I know the Pistons are too. But the Pacers play this unique full-court press. We are just not going to stop pressuring you throughout the whole game. And I've watched this Knicks team struggle with that all year and in the playoffs. So to me, if I were to finish that sentence, that would be the number one thing. You know, the Pacers win this series if they can just exhaust the New York Knicks, particularly Jalen Brunson. Now, your X factor for the Indiana Pacers, who do you got?
I wanted to pick T.J. McConnell just because I picked T.J. McConnell last year when you guys played him and he killed y'all. But I think it's either gonna be Neesmith or Nembhard.
Yeah.
Like it's one of them two. Just because you probably have a similar answer. I'm guessing Neesmith with his two-way ability, just again being able to pressure. He's gonna be tasked with probably guarding everybody from Brunson to like all your wings, and also Nembhard, also one of the better defenders in the league from the guard position, but also his ability to play make. And the Pacers also look really good when Nembhard hits threes. I know that's a big thing. Like, he's a really good mid-range shooter, but when he's hitting his open threes, it just opens up the floor even more for the Pacers. So that's gonna be. I know it's not one X factor, it's two people, but those are my X factors when it comes to the Pacers. Who's yours?
Nembhard, for sure.
Yeah, Nembhard. Yep.
For the simple reason that I think you saw in the Boston series, you've seen in the playoffs too, where teams are trying to pick on Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
And Jalen's held up, man. He's had a couple bad games defensively. For the most part, he's been playing very well defensively. But I do think, they're going to have Mikal Bridges probably on Tyrese. I don't know if they're going to do the face carding thing like Cleveland does. Yeah. But I think you're going to see again, like we saw last series, where it's Nembhard initiating offense. And I also think that Nembhard is probably going to play Jalen Brunson on the other end of the floor too. Yeah. Maybe Neesmith, I don't know. But, he's going to have to exhaust Jalen. He's got to put in the pick and roll. He's going to have to, bust his ass on that end, make him tired on that end, and then press him full court as well. Yeah. If Nembhard can be that annoying two-way guard that Jalen Brunson is just exhausted playing against, and the Knicks don't have an efficient Jalen Brunson, it's going to be a long series. So for me, I know why you would say Neesmith as well. I mean, Neesmith is a better player than he was last year, by my accounts at least. He's having a solid playoffs. I feel like he hits every three he takes. So it'll be interesting to see what he does as well and who he's guarding on the defensive end. But for the most part, I think the key to beat the Knicks really lies in the fact it's like you kind of have to tire out Jalen Brunson, and you have to make him inefficient, because a lot of the times this Knicks team goes as Jalen Brunson goes. And the number one guy who's going to exhaust that guy is Andrew Nembhard for sure. Moving on to the next. All right, let's go to the Knicks. Knicks win this series if blank.
Knicks win this series if they don't. I was gonna say something stupid like if they about New York burning down. Outside MSG's been crazy. I think the Knicks win this series if they're able to get all around play from Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart. You're gonna need the wings this series maybe a lot more than they did the previous series, just because the Pacers can throw a lot at you from different angles. Just you're gonna have the Miles Turner Cat matchup. You're gonna have all like you just talked about Nembhard probably guarding Brunson, but you also have Neesmith. You have Ben Mathurin also coming in the game like that. I haven't even mentioned.
Annoying. I'm gonna hate this series.
Yeah, I haven't even mentioned Obi Toppin, revenge series.
Yeah,
Obi Toppin.
He's more of like, let's make sure he doesn't do a 360 in our heads.
Exactly, but even the Cleveland series, they played what was it? Ben Shepherd minutes here, and he hit some shots. Like they have a lot of wings, a lot of wings, and the Knicks their wings are gonna have to hold up, and that's not even just Mikal and Josh, also OG, like having to deal with Pascal. Like it's just if the defense is able to hold up and keep these games like relatively close, I think the Knicks have full confidence in themselves, like they can win any close game. Yeah. So if they can make sure like defensively keep the game close enough where I guess Captain Clutch can do his thing in the fourth quarter with Jalen Brunson, it could be the difference. But yeah, that's how I see it going. How do you feel about it? The Knicks can win this series if
Cat doesn't embarrass himself on the defensive end. I mean, I honestly, that's the case with a lot of it, man. I mean, the games when they've lost.
That's funny you say. I'm laughing because he's actually my X factor for the reasons you're about to mention. That's why.
So you can hop on. You can add on to whatever I say here.
Yeah.
But essentially, I mean, Miles Turner can shoot the hell out of the basketball. So you're dealing with a very similar worry in my mind that the Knicks had with KP going into the series. Right now, KP was sick, and he wasn't the same Kristaps Porzingis, if we're being honest. That busted Cat's ass all year. But, there's going to be a lot of pick and pop. I mean, even if it's not Tyrese Haliburton, it's going to be Nembhard and Miles Turner in a pick and pop. And Cat's he's going to have to, I don't know how Tibbs is going to play this. Maybe they switch again. I have no idea. But if they don't switch, he's going to have to meet Nembhard at the level, and he's got to recover. Maybe they peel and switch with Jalen. Who knows what they do. But Cat can't get lost defensively, because if he gets lost defensively, then the Pacers are easily just going to put this team in rotation, and they're going to find an open guy for three. And it's going to be dangerous. I'm not too worried about OG Anunoby on Pascal Siakam. You know what I mean? I think he's going to do fine there. Mikal Bridges looks like the Mikal Bridges we traded 5 picks for defensively, at least in the playoffs so far. I don't think he's going to stop Tyrese Haliburton. I don't think Tyrese Haliburton's a player you can stop. But I do think Mikal Bridges can do enough where Tyrese doesn't go absolutely crazy and is averaging like 35 and 15. To me, where the Pacers can really hurt the Knicks this series is if, in that pick and roll situation or pick and pop situation, Karl-Anthony Towns just botches everything up, and all of a sudden Miles Turner has like 2 or 3 early threes, or they start getting the Knicks in rotation, and Nembhard has a 3, and then Nesmith has a 3, and then all of a sudden, it's 30-17 Pacers, and you're climbing uphill against a team that's going to full court press you. Have fun. that's
good luck.
Yeah. So to me, that's my biggest worry, and it all comes down to Cat. And you know what? Tell me why you think he's your X factor, because I think you're going to say what I'm about to say.
I was going to say he needs to stay out of foul trouble. He really needs to stay out of foul trouble. I think also the Knicks, throughout the course of the season, the Knicks play really well when Cat plays aggressive.
Yeah.
And he's been putting up points and rebounds. Like on the stat sheet, he's been filling out the stat sheet. But Cat has the ability to play in any lineup for the Knicks. Like if you want to go double big, he can play that lineup. If you can put out all these small guards in terms of like a campaign and Deuce McBride, and like Cat can play with that lineup, even with the starting lineup. He can play because of his versatility. But the problem is that Cat always ends up picks up these stupid fouls.
Yeah.
Throughout the course of like the start of the game, that kind of puts him behind. Luckily, you guys have Mitchell Robinson healthy now later on in the season in the playoffs that you didn't have him healthy to start the season. But you need Cat on the floor, just because even the threat of him being on the floor opens up the floor for like Jalen Brunson and Mikal and OG like driving. Like he needs to be on the floor. Yeah. So he needs to stay out of foul trouble. Stop picking up stupid fouls. To your point, defensively, whatever Tibbs decides to do is going to be a big factor against a team that has a point guard that works well in the pick and roll. Has 2 point guards that work well in the pick and roll and pick and pop and all that with a spread out offense also, and that pushes tempo. So Cat to me is going to be such a big X factor for this whole playoff series.
He's killed the play on the other end of the he's killed him offensively.
Yeah.
I expect him to actually, in the Celtics series, he was down low a lot. I think you're going to see a lot of Cat 3-pointers. We're going to see like perimeter Cat, the pick and pop. We're going to see a lot of that, bring Miles Turner out of the paint type of thing with Karl-Anthony Towns. I think that, he's going to shoot the ball more than he shot in the Boston series. When I say shoot the ball, I mean like shooting threes, because he wasn't really shooting threes like the Karl-Anthony Towns that I know, at least. We got Karl-Anthony Towns, the Knicks did, so that he can spread the floor, right? Or else we would just would have kept Julius Randle where he could just bang in the paint. So I expect that Karl-Anthony Towns to exist this series. Now, finally, we've come. Kwab, your prediction. Knicks Pacers.
You go first.
No, you go first.
You go first.
No.
Rock, paper, scissors. Who goes first?
2 out of 3? No, 1 out of 2.
3.
No, 1 out of 2. We can't do this.
One out of okay.
Just one. 1 out of 1.
Just 1.
What am I talking about?
1 out of 1. 1 out of 1. Rock, scissors, shoot. That was so late. Okay, I'll go first. We might have to cut that out. That was so
no, we're not cutting that
out. I have the Pacers winning this series in I want to say 6.
Mi corazón.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth with this, but it's, to me, I want, again, to whoever is in the comments, I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks win this series.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers win this series. The reason why I'm picking the Pacers is because of looking at both teams and how they play. The Pacers have such a deeper rotation, like top to bottom, compared to what the Knicks put out. Now the Knicks are comfortable playing, your 5 to 6 players, 7 players, whatever it is. And you know what? I'll say this: props to Tibbs. And people are not gonna give him any props about this. Props to Tibbs for playing this short rotation all year, so his players are in shape and they understand. Oh, we're gonna play heavy minutes.
Yeah.
So they get that. With the Pacers, they can throw so many different players at you. Like we know what you're gonna get from Pascal, Miles Turner, and then that's just the front line, right? Then you go to the bench. They have Mathurin coming off the bench.
Yeah.
What's his name? Had some good minutes last year. Thomas Bryant had some good minutes last series too, and that's before you get to like T.J. McConnell, who has constantly killed y'all. Like anytime I watch a Pacers Knicks game. My thing is that with a team like the Pacers, if they go up against the Knicks, they're not gonna resort to analytics basketball that the Celtics did to let you guys get back in the game. They will blow you guys out, and I feel like they should be able to pull off this series. So like I have confidence in the Pacers winning this series, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks win. So how many games do you have the Knicks win in this series?
So my head says Pacers in 6.
Yeah. Don't go with your head. Go with your heart,
My
brother.
heart. Mi corazón.
Your head says Pacers in 6, but you got a Knicks hat on your head. So
Knicks in 7, baby. I'm going with it. For the first time ever in Dime history, I'm going with my heart.
Yeah.
Because I can't walk the streets of New York if I pick the Pacers in this series and the Knicks win.
Fair. That's
Knicks
fair.
in 7, baby.
Knicks in
I think
7.
they overcome the odds,
No.
which are in their favor.
What's your favorite to win?
Their favorites. So what am I talking about here? I'm going with my heart. Knicks in 7, defying logic. Pacer fans who are watching this right now, who are mad at me for picking the Knicks in 7, just know that I know it is going against rationality that's going on in my head. I don't think the Pacers are that much better than the Knicks. I mean, I thought the Celtics were way better than the Knicks. I to this day, I am shocked.
We're still shocked.
I cannot
We're
believe
shocked.
that the Knicks won that series.
That still makes no sense.
So I'm still kind of riding off of that. I do think the Knicks can beat the Pacers. I think about last year, and they're two different teams. This was kind of like if this was last year's team, like the Knicks still had iHeart and like this was healthy. I'm like, oh my god, Knicks in 5 or 6. So that's what should have happened last year. But I do think that the Pacers are better than they were last year, and I also think this Knicks team is still kind of relatively new and getting used to each other. So the chemistry is not as there like it was last year. I don't know, man. I agree with you. The Pacers are deeper. They can do more things. You know, Haliburton is a freaking pest to guard. The Knicks are really inconsistent in the half court. The Pacers are just relentless. But I don't know. I don't know how they pull it off in the Celtics. And so, as a Knicks fan who hasn't seen this team play in the Eastern Conference Finals since since the year 2000, I'm riding with the Knicks.
Hey,
let's go.
As you should. This is going to be a fun matchup for me because I have no dog in this fight. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. Two teams that have two guards that have had some of the most biggest clutch moments this playoff series that we've seen.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun series.
It's gonna be such a fun series. So
I think you get a game though where like the Pacers blow the doors off the Knicks. And I think you might get one of those with the Knicks too. Like I'm confident that's gonna happen at least one time with the Pacers to the Knicks. Yeah. I think the Knicks might do it as well in the Garden, like in Game 5 or something like that. But yeah, I think overall though it's gonna be a really good series. So, all right, well there you have it. Let us know what you think in the comments. Who do you have in how many games? Who's your X Factor? You can follow us everywhere at the Dime NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab, a.k.a. Yes. We will be going over every game after they are done unless I am at Madison Square Garden for a watch party like I was a few times this series, which is why I missed a couple of Knicks recap games. But yeah, so subscribe, like the videos, all that good stuff. We'll see you for the start of Knicks-Pacers. Until then, peace.